Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Get early access to all of our interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats with writer and comic book legend DG Chichester, new episodes of classic Capes and Lunatics shows, including The Quantum Zone, This, That, or the Third, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/Capes and Lunatics. Hope to see you there.
I get so much right.
That's right. It's that time again. That man who gets so much right. That man has so many ideas and even many, many more bathrobes. It is the third best Southgate out of 3. Mr. Rob Southgate.
Yeah, out of 3. That's right. Oh, wait. I'm getting a message here.
3 out of 3 in fact.
Oh, I was trying to bring a special guest in, but Alil is in Sarasota at a regional sing for his girls. So he won't be joining us today. I was trying to get Alil to join us because we have a major announcement. Phil, can you...
by the way, me and Lilith are here too. So.
Yeah. Can you share the screen and we'll get this out of the way?
Oh, yes. Okay. There's your screen. Okay. Major announcement, kids. Should be, yeah. Yep.
There it is.
So if you want to see the screen, go to our YouTube channel.
What?
Unless you're watching this live.
Does that mean?
SMG 2.0.
Yeah, man. Yeah. So you can stop sharing it.
Okay.
I can now close it too. So yeah, it's happening. And I'm sure there's going to be lots of questions. So it's good that we have a show where you ask me questions because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of questions.
So what initiated? I know you mentioned this to me on Sunday, and you said don't say anything because it's probably going to be a while. And then 2 days later, you're like, "We're going."
Classic Rob.
Yeah, that is how it happens.
I wonder where I get it from, Lilith, huh?
Yeah. So I actually just went through the story, so this will probably be a smaller version of the story. But when we, there we go. I'm getting verklempt.
It's all the caffeine.
You know what? I just ate chicken sausage really fast and drank the coffee, and now my throat's saying, "Hey, is there more?" Or please God, don't put anything more in. I'm not sure which. We'll find out.
I need that as a drop.
What about his throat? Yeah.
I think we need one of Lilith going, I need that as a drop.
Oh, I have a drop of her saying we need that as a drop.
Yeah, but in that voice, because that was awesome.
Oh, yeah, that was a little too low.
Yeah. So, we started Southgate Media Group 11 years ago. And then about a year and a half, 2 years ago, we made everybody free agents. And there were a number of reasons. One might be frustration. There were frustrations involved with it. Even though we loved everybody, it's like it was time to go. The biggest one that we kept talking about around here was not that. We probably would have gone indefinitely and been frustrated. Was we wanted people to leave the nest, to fly on their own, to create their things. And they did. Boom. Case in point right here, Capes and Lunatics. A number of people did keep going and doing their thing. With that, when we made the announcement, we told everybody, look, this is what we're going to do. We also had thought we weren't going to be producing the shows that Molly and I were doing any longer. We thought we're just going to be free agents ourselves, and we're just going to call it, whatever, Molly's Network. In fact, I think there's
Molly and Friends.
Yeah, I think there's a couple of read between the lines that happened right then, where when you put down the network name, I just put like Molly Southgate or something. And then we went back and we put Southgate Media Group on it. We allowed people that were part of the network to push their new content to our YouTube channel. We figured, hey, people are already watching you there. Go ahead and we'll put it in the same playlist. You can have your own and you can push it here. Why not? Get double the exposure. So immediately after announcing it, though, I got a lot of messages from the podcasters, from people involved. Hold on.
Oh my God, there is a limit to his voice.
Oh man.
11
just had
years
it.
we found it.
No, it was a tickle. It's back. And louder than ever. So immediately, though, people were asking, okay, so yeah, you did this. How long before 2.0? And we said it's not going to happen. And we even on our private Facebook page in the header had a picture of a microphone with the red light being off. And we figured that shows them we're not doing it. I don't know, maybe 6 months ago I switched the picture because it kept eating at me, but I wasn't ready to do a 2.0. The shows that I was doing, the show Molly was doing, even Broken to Brave in the beginning of all that, because that's no longer being produced. I let them say Southgate Media Group. So we still were doing things, right? But we weren't doing anywhere near the scope at all. And we weren't letting other people in. It was just us. And we figured it's just a little hobby we're having fun with. For a while now, I get periodically people asking about joining our network. And I always say, nope, there's no network. You know, if something changes, I'll let you know, but not going to happen. And then, and I'm going to get this wrong, this series of events, but last week, over the weekend, now this has been eating at me. All of a sudden, it's coming up a lot in my head. And over the weekend, I got 2 emails. One of them was really cool. It's a audio drama that sounded really cool. Horror sci-fi thing. Hey, how do we submit to be part of your network? We saw your YouTube channel. I was on your website, blah, blah, blah. So they're doing their homework. They're not just fishing. And I was like, man, they're still coming out of the woodwork. But here's the thing. I didn't respond to them. Something made me say, hold on. What's going on here? And somebody, and I don't remember who, asked us, it might have been somebody after PopCon, ask about when are you going to start bringing podcasts back? When are you going to start doing your network again? And I said this to Maeve, but I didn't say it in a fishing way. I wasn't looking for her to say, hey, we should do it. I was looking for just like, yeah, we get these all the time. And we say it to each other all the time. Like, oh yeah, somebody asked, blah, blah, blah. And I said it to her and she gets real serious and she goes, is it time? Is it time we do 2.0? And I went, what? Because she was like, no, we're not doing this again. All of a sudden, I saw the same thing I saw 11 years ago. She flips over a card 11 years ago and is like, bam, I'm all in. Let's walk off a cliff. Now, I'm not walking off a cliff. I'm still keeping all my roles that I have. But she flipped the card and she was like, yeah, I think it's time. I think you got to go do this. And she goes, what's it going to look like? How's it different? And it just poured out of me. I knew exactly what was to be done. I then went out and mowed the lawn. And while I'm mowing, brain is working. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to ask Phil a couple of questions. Not fishing for you guys to be part of the network. Nobody is getting fished that way, okay? I was writing because Phil and Lilith have a network. I wanted to ask some questions. And Lilith is usually napping, so I don't write to her. So I write to Phil, and I said, hey, how does this work? And how does this work about his network? And no offense, Phil, but you're making the same mistakes I did. And I think I told you that. and those mistakes are not like life and death mistakes. Those are mistakes that only 11 years experience, only doing the things that I've done in the last even 3 years would become apparent. And when I say that, I made the mistakes like crazy. I'm still going to continue to make mistakes. But I also know I had all these friends that own these bigger networks like the size of ours, that have either gone by the wayside or have pared down and they're like 3 shows, just like we did. Okay. Why? These mistakes, these things. And it all comes down to one question. And you guys being podcasters with Southgate Media Group for so long, You heard me say this a million times. I mean, from probably the first time anybody talked to me about being in our network. Why do you want to be in a network? What does a network do for you? I'd ask that all the time. Go look at the Facebook posts I post. I used to post that to groups. Like, you're asking about networks. Why are you, what is a network going to do for you? And it was a heartfelt question because I owned a network and could not figure out, I knew what it should do, but I saw nobody doing it. And that was when Maeve said to me, is it time? It was the same thing that happened 11 years ago. I saw it as clear as can be. I understood exactly how we're supposed to do this and what it's supposed to be. But this time, we're not newbies. When we did that first time, hell, Lilith, you know this because I did it to you all the time. How does Twitter work?
Yeah.
I didn't know any of this stuff. I knew where we had to be, but I didn't know any of this, right?
And now you have to ask yourself that again because it has changed significantly.
No, now I ask, where did Twitter go?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, see, that's just it. You're constantly learning and constantly evolving on this stuff. But then, like, I would ask podcasters that I knew that were having shows that were doing all right, and I'd ask them questions, and they either bold-faced lie to me, or they didn't know the answer, and they would just kind of, like, make something up or take it only from their perspective, which was this big. And I'd be like, yeah, but that's not how that doesn't make sense. Do you guys remember when we had, I think it was 3 or 4 flash shows?
Yeah.
Okay. When we did that,
we were on some of them. Yes, we were.
Yeah, right. But we had like 3 or 4 of them. And when we did that, I got messages from some of my friends that are either podcasters or ran those other networks I was mentioning. They're like, what are you doing? Why would you have 3? You get one good one and you stake your claim. And I said, well, that is not how it works.
Oh, hello, Kristen.
What? Oh, and she disappeared. Oh, hey, Kristen. Oh, I was there a while too. Kristen was awesome. Oh,
she was
I'm so
awesome.
glad you're out
we
there.
missed you, Kristen.
Yeah.
And Dawn and everybody. Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. And that's just it. We had so many people that were part of it. And then over time, like life got in the way. Like, even Jack was so vital in the very beginning. And then he started the doctoral program. And I'm like, Jack, I'm booting you off of the show. I did.
He was
personal
friends with them kids. I mean, he played no favorites. He was like, yeah, you're off. You're done.
That's right. I said, and the thing was, it wasn't about the show. It was affecting the show, but it wasn't about the show. It was about him. And that's what we did with our network the whole time. It was about him. He needed to get that distraction out so he could finish his doctorate. Right? And that we always put our people first. Now, 2.0. Oh, so anyway, I asked Phil these questions. He said, here's what's happening. I'm like, oh, I know those mistakes. He said, Tyler, who you just mentioned, Tyler is looking for a network.
Yes.
So I reached out to Tyler and we had a conversation. And I had to lay out exactly what we're thinking of doing. I don't even have it written up. I know exactly. Okay. And I said, look, this is the playbook, but this is the beginning of the playbook. And one of the things we said on there was the original thing I put out just to you guys, because this has not gone public yet. This is it. Okay.
Ooh, exclusive.
I put on there the network for serious podcasters, and Molly said that sounds really dickish. You need to back off of that.
No, I don't think so, though. You need to make a point.
Right, and that's why I put it to us.
No, I just saw Molly's the producer.
Because she has an equal say in this. All 3 of us equal say, believe
Rob,
it or not.
Honestly, I thought if this was ever going to come back as 2.0, I thought it was going to be Molly production. Yes. No, that's right.
Well, she is.
I mean, you're working for her? Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
In title, it's still
now we need a spin-off podcast called First Best
First Best Southgate. Notice I'm doing the Marvel mug. This was Enough Said mug. I got it in the first season.
Oh, nice.
So
it's still SMG, but it's Molly.
Yeah. So
much Molly.
so
there's a tagline.
I laid it out there for Tyler. And it was sooner than I wanted it to happen because he said, I got 5 days. I have to give an answer to this other network. And I'm like, hey, do it or don't. This is what it is. But actually, I would love to have you with us. And there are restrictions. There are things that are required on this. There are also things, and this is what I was wrestling with for part of the time, was there are things that I'm going to call them expectations, not requirements. But you sign a 6-month contract. We're going to have contracts. And at the end of 6 months, if you're not doing the stuff, we let you go. But it's the same deal as before. It's your show. You take it, you go run. You're just not in the private groups and getting the benefits of a network, which I think I have solved. I think I figured it out. So, Phil, I went through them with you. I talked it out. I gave you pretty clear. And the thing is, I think I may have overshared because your reaction was like, well, that might be a lot of time. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be. So as this evolves, I'm going to write up what everything is, and I'm going to share it with everybody. I'm not out there necessarily soliciting podcasts, but I'm soliciting podcasts. I want to get people to pitch to me and tell me what they got. And then we talk about the requirements. And last time it was, we'll take anything and we'll make anybody a podcaster. And this time I'm like, yeah, we're doing it a little differently. But we've already run into, do we have a segment of this that we'll call an incubator where people can try it out and we can teach? So that might be, well, I'm sure it's going to be an element of it because we love that. But on the other side of it, the SMG 2.0, that is where we are going to get serious about it. If it's your hobby, that's great. Take it seriously. My dad painted military miniatures. He was sitting here in this room over here painting these little guys endlessly, always learning about it, always working on it. Did he make money at it? Absolutely not. It cost him a fortune. But it was his hobby, and he took it very seriously. He ended up winning some awards for it. That's what the expectation is. Not that you have to win awards, but you do it to the best of your potential and that you work within the paradigm of this network. So I hope that all made sense. It didn't sound dickish, Molly.
Oh, that's not okay, boss.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, Tyler is perfect because, I mean, he has the talent, he has the drive. But again, he has a few co-hosts, but it's, I mean, the majority of the work is him, and what you see on Crypto Report is him. So
right, and there's things even within that where I look at people with co-hosts and that, and it's like, one of the things we're going to do is I'm going to talk to the teams, because that was one of the things that made us shut down. Is I was getting all these people that were part of our network that I had never met, and I'm like, wait, no, we need to talk. I need to find out who they are and what that they understand. Like, hey, you have a responsibility to your show lead. If Phil's doing every damn thing and you're not even sharing a Facebook post, what are you doing? Put yourself in Phil's place. How would you feel about it? Right?
Mm-hmm.
I felt very taken advantage of. That's not going to happen again. But at the same time, I'm not going to be a jerk about it because I also get it. We have lives. We have things that come up. We're going to be working on things. And a lot of us don't understand how that stuff works. So, hey, maybe they just simply don't know some of the basic things. Have 2 social media platforms, post 3 times a week. It can be the same content on both. That's it. There's your requirement. And if you don't do it, see ya. Because I'm not worried about what your numbers are. If you're not doing that stuff, your numbers are never going to climb. You're not valuable to the network for advertising money or anything else anyway. Right?
Mm-hmm.
You're just content, and just content is, I almost said something really dirty.
Whoa!
Well, this is the network for it, so go ahead.
Yeah. No, because I'm talking about Southgate Media Group.
Touche.
So what questions do you guys have? This has been a somber, serious start to the thing. What do you guys have?
There
will be puppets.
Oh,
Yay! Hey, maybe our puppets can have a play date.
oh
Oh
my.
man, I gotta find where the Chris puppet went. In moving everything.
Hopefully, it's clothed.
Yeah, he had a shirt on. No, you know what our best one was? So we had these great puppets. They were by Manhattan Toy Company, I believe. And that's what I made the Chris and a Lil puppets out of, right? And I had some other ones, but that was the one that it was interchangeable between the two. I'd put a goatee on it, or I would put, I'd make it look bald for a Lil. And for clothing, like they came with a knight outfit or a king's outfit or whatever. Got those off. We actually got preemie baby clothes and put it on. That's how we did it. For the Chris one, I made a Doctor Who logo that I put in the middle. So whenever the Chris puppet was on, he originally had the Doctor Who logo. For a Lil, I put the League of Geeks logo, or I'd put the hashtag. Kristen, I'll clarify. I put the hashtag.
Well, I'm not going to do SMG.
Right. I put the hashtag. I'm an insurance adjuster, because that used to drive him crazy. I don't know. Were you guys on the one?
Who is he? Hal Jordan?
Well, he's not, right? He would be like the boss of the adjusters or whatever. But we were at a panel in Indianapolis, and it was a room full of people. I had all these podcasters up there, and I was way at the end, and I was, everyone's talking and blah blah blah, and then once it got to me,
Okay. All the
Puppets are always an option.
Rachel.
That's right.
Rachel, puppets are big with us. There's a show that was a fan of This Week in Geek that I know these guys. I actually interviewed them out at Live at the Blue Box, and all of a sudden, the third member of their show is a puppet. And they said it's because we were using puppets out there. They're like, that was so fun. Like, it is. It is, especially
Phil's addicted. He can't keep his hands off that puppet. That puppet.
Oh.
Yes, our deceased friend Charlie. Yes, I am going straight to hell. So yeah, that's all right.
It's a way to keep him alive, man.
It is. I said if there was any other person on Earth, I would have hesitated, but Charlie would have loved if he knew he was going to be immortalized as a puppet.
You know what? Get it. Put a like a Spider-Man shirt on it.
We're working on a Doctor Doom shirt. He's kind of an odd-sized puppet, and we're getting a bigger one actually pretty soon here for Christmas. So
yeah, well, preemie baby clothes work, and you can always get a silk screen of Doctor Doom on it, something like that.
Yep.
Something to think about. So anyway, Kristen, you ask what the hell's going on.
SMG, we're back, baby.
SMG,
we are.
What the hell's going on?
Exactly. That's going to be our first thing we're going to put out. What the hell? So yeah, we're just relaunching, Kristen. That's what it is. We're bringing the network back. It is no longer SMG is what it originally was intended to be. It is not a podcast network. It is a content network. So if somebody comes to me and says, "Hey, I've got a Twitch channel and I want to be involved in this," yeah, absolutely. Okay. If somebody comes and says, "I've got a YouTube show," like, to me, I've gotten in this argument with people, podcast nerd arguments about what a podcast is. A friend of mine who is a big deal in that world is always up on his high horse. YouTube is not for podcasts. Podcasts are audio only.
That's why they went all in on podcasts.
Right. And he's
to
like,
compete
it's
with
audio
Spotify.
only. And I'm like, that is garbage. A podcast is a generic term like Kleenex now.
Yeah.
It is homebrew content. I watch shows on Twitch, and they'll say, like, "Okay, welcome to the whatever podcast." I'm like, this is as far from the concept of a podcast as you get, yet you're right, this is a podcast. Because it's Kleenex. We're not going to sit here and label everything and make everything, it's a podcast. You're creating media content, and you're expressing views, and there's so many different ways you can do that. Let's just go with that.
Do you feel equipped to handle all the different types of content creators there are? Because there's something very specific and niche about Twitch and things like that. That's all I'm saying.
Talking too.
You will find out I am right so much more often than I'm wrong.
I couldn't have said that better myself. Lilith, I am prepared. And in fact, if it doesn't work, what do I care? I will just say, this isn't a good fit. But you know what? I've already been working with Twitch people. I've already been doing stuff with Twitch. I've already been doing stuff in all these different arenas. And yeah, they're different. Yeah, there's different needs in that. And yeah, I'm going to screw some of it up. But wouldn't you rather, as a creator who's out here on your own trying to figure this thing out, have somebody that has experience, whether it's in yours or not, but in content creation, in building something, to be able to go, hey, marketing is marketing. Let's talk. I would rather have that person on my side because let's face it, genius is next to you all the time. If you have somebody who has actually done some of this stuff, whether it's the same lane or not, you can learn from them.
Did Rob just call himself a genius?
No, I said the people next to me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Maeve and Molly. Let's be real.
That makes more sense. Okay. Yeah,
very
one and two
true.
for first and second best Southgate. Okay. Yeah, I get that.
That's right. Right.
That's right.
Hold on. Somebody's writing me. Oh, nope, they're not. Okay. So, yeah, I do feel equipped, Lilith. And if I'm not, you know what? Okay, let's take Twitch, for example. I have a friend that has a fairly successful Twitch channel. He's already said, hey, what can I do on this? How can I be involved? If he wants to put a show together there, he can be part of this network. It's what we're doing as a network. It's what makes sense as a network that is going to show you that, yeah, all these different avenues can come in and converge in the same place.
Oh, hey,
right?
Rob, I think we have a question here from Chris.
Yeah, Kristen again. I have Facebook and tabletop pages, TT pages, Twitter pages.
TikTok.
What's TT? TikTok.
I'm assuming.
Yep. Either that or she's right. Kristen, we don't write dirty things. I don't care if you've got titty
That's
pages.
not OF.
I don't
It's
want,
not OF. It's TT.
Yeah. Grew Facebook first, but now focused on TikTok with improv comedy. What? Signed with a TikTok agency. Is this to help grow? Hey, hold on, Kristen. You should.
I didn't even know that was a thing.
I did. I have not ventured into TikTok. I have actually with the publisher I work with, we're actually about to launch our TikTok stuff and start building on that. Yes, Kirsten, it is about growing the audience. It is about how you're sharing the content and the community around it. So TikTok is a funny animal. It is going to be a part of this. So if I have a content creator from TikTok, we're trying to have resources to help them out and help them encourage each of us so that we can get going with things like that before the government shuts it down. But I would, Kirsten, I need to have you guest on something because you, back in the day, you were blogging, you were really interested in doing stuff with that. Then we got you into podcasting, and now you're doing TikTok and that. I would love to get your insights into all of this. Because you started out, weren't you making memes? I think that was where you started. Lilith, are you the one that found Kirsten?
I think it was Dawn, maybe.
Yeah.
I forget how that goes.
Yeah, it was. It was Dawn.
I'm getting old, Rob. I can't remember as well as I used to.
Yeah, trust me. So yeah, it's literally, we're rooted in podcasting. Podcasting has a million different avenues now. And the whole idea is going to be people that are serious about it, that want to market, that want to build audience, that want to be out there. We're making it so, hey, you can't fly under the radar. You got to be part of things. And it's something new. It's what a network is supposed to be. It is literally what a network is supposed to be. I hope that makes sense. If not, welcome to SMG 2.0. What did that say? I had a podcast with,
Yeah,
you did. Yeah, that was great too. I remember that.
Red Shirts. The
Red
100
Shirts.
podcast.
Well, that was one of them. That was the second one. The first one was it a supernatural one?
No, that was me and Dawn.
That was you and Dawn. Kirsten, you were on something other than Red Shirts though, weren't you? So anyway, there's something. So with the shows, when we let everybody go the first time, we told them, hey, this is your content. The only agreement part of it is if you produced it while you were with us, we share the rights. I don't mean financial rights. I mean, we're able to have it on, like if we want to promote Red Shirts, like all of a sudden there's a resurgence about the 100 or there's an interest in it. We want to be able to share that podcast with people and let it live on either on our, podcast channel. Elementary, that was the one. Yes. I still use the music from that for some things. But I got lost in that thought. I need more coffee. Yep.
Decaf?
Absolutely not. What were we just talking about?
Well, I have a question. I mean, to the platforms you mentioned. Well, I mean, we'll start with the TikTok. Like again, I know nothing about TikTok. I thought people.
Nobody really does. Shh, it's okay.
Was it just short?
Even TikTok doesn't know what
I
TikTok
thought it was
is.
just for people putting up just short, funny little videos.
No, I mean
Nope.
they're actually trying to cut into YouTube's business now. That's much more long format now because you can't actually advertise on short content.
Yeah.
And YouTube's learning that with shorts and stuff too. So we'll see how that shakes out in the next 18 months.
Yep.
So you could put longer content on TikTok?
Yeah, you can put. I think the limit is 10 minutes right now, and they want you to. They don't even want vertical anymore, which is odd. That's how you know they're definitely pushing into advertising,
right?
And that's why they need the long form content of at least like they don't even do. You can't get monetized if your content's less than 60 seconds now.
Yeah.
Like they tried to come for Vine, and then they realized why Vine went out of business.
Yep, exactly.
At least they're able to pivot a lot faster.
Yep.
Yeah.
Richly, yep, 10 minutes.
I heard 15, 20 minutes is coming pretty soon. I heard they're testing it out on the back end right now. So
very cool.
Oh, yeah.
TikTok's been an interesting beast. I mean,
yeah. Well, there's a lot there. And there are people that, I mean, let's face it, if you have 10 minutes, you can create a 10-minute show.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have longer than that. And you can actually do something very interesting with a 10-minute show. I just did it. You remember when we had the 5 questions thing that I put on our Patreon?
Yeah.
Which is coming back. I'm doing that with the authors for our newsletter. So the place it lives is our newsletter. And then after it's gone out on the newsletter, it goes and lives on our YouTube channel.
Oh, see, yeah, there it is.
And I did 3 questions, which turned into like 7 because you know me. And it's great. It's like a 10-minute interview and people really love that. I could take the video from that, do something cool with it, get the right, hashtags on it, throw it up on TikTok, and make sure that Book Talk is aware of it because it is authors giving these short little micro interviews. And you could actually make a really cool show out of that. That would be something that the network would be interested in. Somebody who's like, oh, I make these dance videos and I just dance around. That's not, go join a collective for something like that. I want shows. So what was that last one? I missed it.
Oh.
TikTok wants to be the new Netflix in a different way. They already had 10 minutes. Now I can make 30-minute shows. Oh.
Yeah. Like I said, TikTok's still trying to figure out what they want to do, how they want to advertise, if they're trying to actually get away from like the whole home shopping network thing that they're going through right now.
Right.
Which is why what actually really pissed people off. Jeff Bezos is obviously behind banning TikTok, and so is Zuck, as far as I'm concerned, even though I'm not a girly. So, because Facebook is way more invasive than TikTok. If you know, you know.
Yep. Absolutely.
Well, yeah, I think I mean, it's.
But it's been a crazy evolution for TikTok, and it's like they're speed running it. So that's also what has my eyebrow up about TikTok. And they can't obviously do the things that they do in their other markets, specifically their Asian markets that they can do. In America, there's a little bit more scrutiny. So
yeah,
we'll see how this goes. They might just take the L and go, you know what? This is only a small percentage. we don't want the smoke right now. So
that's
we'll
true.
See.
That's true. We shall see. But that content, what you're creating, if you're in a space where you are creating, let's talk. And Kristen, the other thing I want you to do is share your TikTok handle. Phil put it on the screen for her so people can follow you on TikTok.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll follow you.
Absolutely. I want to see
Just
what you're doing over
there. Don't tell Phil
there.
what my handle is.
How dare you?
I'm waiting for it. I've got my TikTok up.
Hey.
I hear the music.
Yeah, music's already starting. There we go.
Rob.
All right, and now this video's been banned because there was 13 seconds.
And if you watch this, on this video on Facebook, yeah, it should be in the comments. So yes,
yeah.
Good. Well,
yes.
I don't see it, but that's okay.
Well, there's a delay. There's always a delay, so I'm sure when she hears that, yeah, she'll put it up.
Well, no, we're so excited for you. We can't wait to see what SMG 2.0 looks like. I'm interested to see what shows pop up and what different new content creators you get into the network for sure.
Yeah, it's going to be very different. It's going to be really cool, and that does not mean the door is shut to the old creators in any way. It just doesn't mean that everything is going to be brought in.
The same, and it can't be.
It can't be. It can't be. And the thing is, like I said, I haven't made an announcement out there yet.
Yes, that was driving me crazy. I wanted to say the pets thing, but I wasn't sure because it's been so long.
Oh man, Kristen's kids. Okay.
But yeah, no,
I'm
I
looking
know, yeah. The door's not closed to most people, but yeah, I know Rob has Rob actually
Higher
has standards to this time. Yeah, I know, but before, I mean, it was just Rob and Maeve were just like, yeah, anyone can come in,
Yeah. And the thing is, we're still fostering the creativity. We're still saying, like, we don't want it to be like it has to be, if we have this, it has to be cereal. No. We still have,
Because even cereal isn't cereal anymore.
no, it was for one season and then it's gotten worse. Here's an example of things that are the same. No politics, no sex. I mean, just stay away from them.
Well, that's to be advertiser friendly and just common sense too. That's too.
Yeah, but Lilith, how often did you see that in our chat? Everyone thought they were Howard Stern. I got into so many arguments with people in our network that were like, yeah, but why can't I talk about this? It's like, well, and you talked about, we let somebody go who was a friend of ours because they would not stop talking sexual stuff on the show. And I said, no. And we cut them. And that was a friend of ours who we are still friends with. But rules like that have got to be in place. If you have a show like that, immediately India, China, your show's gonna be taken off. If you swear on your show and you don't mark it explicit and they catch it through their filters in India or China, they will remove your show, potentially your entire network. Is that a huge market share for you? Maybe, maybe not.
But it could be.
It could be. And also, is it a huge market show today? Well, maybe not. But tomorrow, they start streaming, like all of a sudden DC is the only thing. Everybody's obsessed in China, and they start looking for American content about DC. And now all of a sudden, 2/3 of your listener base is in China. And you go, what happened? So why not be prepared for that and say, okay, I'm not going to make dumb moves just so I can say blank or blank. And politics, not going to happen. It's too polarizing.
You automatically, it doesn't matter what side you're on, you automatically alienate 50% of your audience.
I don't mind saying my thoughts.
Yeah.
I'm just not going to go into it for an hour. I mean, I've said it on here, I think. I've said it even on Pour Over. Like, I think Trump's an idiot. I can say that. I think he's bad for the country. But that's it. End of political discussion. And if you disagree, you disagree. And that's acceptable too. You have to be super careful when it comes to that type of content, even set to 18 and up. Yeah, you do. That's why, like, on our YouTube, I always put not for kids, even though there's no swearing, there's no sexual content, there's no political stuff. I put it as not for kids because you have to be incredibly careful with that.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that comes with the COPA law and all that. So yeah, you definitely want to explicitly state, like, it's been so many like new rules and updates and changes and
I feel like if you're not specifically targeting kids as an audience, you can put not for kids.
Right. And even if you are, you got to be real careful.
Oh yeah.
You got to be real careful. Make sure you're Bluey.
Bluey's a little controversial. It is.
It is, but Bluey skates the edge.
Like, it does.
Other things, like, you got to be super careful. So yeah, we're back, and this is a real thing, and we have Tyler.
Are you gonna have a cap on your like how many people you want in the network, or
no? We're going to see where it goes. That's funny. Maeve asked me that last night. And she said, what's our goal? 50 shows? And I said, well, I can't put a goal because we may not get 50 quality shows that we want. Or we may get 200. And if we get to that point, then we got to figure it out because it's not going to be me. I'm not going to be alone on this one. But I figure the sky is the limit. If we get this right, if we get all the things right that we're talking about, then, I mean, we could have 1,000 shows that are part of this network. We're not editing the stuff. We're not, we're really just setting up the infrastructure and teaching and getting it so people can succeed. And to a degree, monitoring stuff, just like we did before. When we had all those shows pumping, I did scan through stuff just to make sure, which is how we caught the one having, saying all this sex shit. And we're like, you're out. You're out. I can't. And it wasn't a one and done. It was like, okay, got talked to again. And then it was like, okay, that was 2 warnings. It's it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, one of the things, actually, you're going to like this. I said this to Phil. One of the things that's required is you have to be responsive.
Mm.
So one of the things that had frustrated me so much is people would say, I only talk on Twitter Messenger. And I was like, yeah, but we have a Facebook group. No, I won't use Facebook. Everyone was asking me to use, what was it, Trello? I set it up. Half the people didn't use
Trello, not Slack?
Oh, Slack.
Oh, yeah, Slack.
Yeah.
But then they didn't like it. And I'm like, yeah, but you're not using it. So I was talking into a void all the time. This time,
Facebook should just be the common denominator. I think that's...
no, Discord.
Oh, okay.
Discord is where it's at. I've been using it for lots of things, and it does exactly what I wanted all those other platforms to do. And it doesn't get buried in an algorithm like Facebook does. Even our group, I would write things in our group, and people would say, I never saw anything. I never got an alert. I never saw anything. It's like Facebook. Discord, no problem. Now, does that mean I won't have the private group in Facebook too? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. But things that I need, if I'm like, hey, everybody, we're doing a live event, who's in? I need everybody to respond, whether they are or not. I can't go, this happened. We're doing a podcast marathon. We get down to the day before, and a couple of shows reach out, and they're like, oh, hey, I want to be part of it. Do you know how much work was put in to get us to this point, and marketing and everything else, and now you just want to jump on like it didn't matter? That's not going to happen again. Or I had shows that just didn't show up.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, really?
There was one I had to cover a couple hours myself. I was like, oh my God.
Yeah. Yep. Kristen. Yeah, Discord is where it's at. I didn't know it connected directly with TikTok, so now I'm going to go explore that. That's very cool. Yeah, we actually had we did a live marathon at Indie PopCon, the second one we did, and Chris and I were there. Maeve couldn't make it, Molly couldn't make it, and we had 2 shows that simply just didn't show up. One of them was one of ours, and I'm like, seriously? Didn't write me or anything until like a few days after the con. They're like, oh, sorry, I didn't make it. I'm like, I'm at a live stage in the middle of a con, and you don't even have the courtesy of writing me and saying, and it wasn't like we were stuck in traffic or anything. It was just like, oh, I forgot.
Oh,
and I'm like, I talked to you about it on Thursday. You were going to be on Saturday, and you forgot to travel to Indiana on Saturday.
Yikes.
Yeah, that's not going to happen again. That doesn't fly. But see, we were set up that way. We were not set up where, this is going to sound bad, but where I was the boss. It was set up as like, hey, you're doing me a favor or whatever. But we have to change that. I don't plan to be the boss. Molly, Maeve, and I, the 3 of us, work together. We have equal say on things. That's going to be how it is. There's got to be a response. There's got to be that mutual respect, because I would show respect this way, but I had people that did not show it back. I had somebody that show posted late. They got really mad at me and started saying, you need to hire people. You need to do this. And I was really ticked because they submitted their show late. So if their show was supposed to go up on Tuesday, they submitted it Tuesday morning. And when it didn't go up an hour after they submitted it, they were mad at me. And I'm like, that's not going to happen. Never again. Yes, you can have TikTok for your team and for your subscribers on Discord, and it automatically updates their status. I love it. I love it. So So yeah, those are things that are just going to be different. We're not going to be like Iron Fist or anything. That's not how it works. But we're going to have some rules and some absolutes. Lilith, way back. I know you don't have a memory anymore because you're, the internet granny, but way back before you became a crazy cat woman, you
Dog lady.
crazy dog woman, you said to me, every show should have a blog. And I couldn't get anybody to do it.
Blogs are making a resurgence in the form of newsletters, though. So
a requirement of the new Southgate Media Group is every show has to have a newsletter. Now, what a newsletter looks like, people get scared off by that. How about just go to Substack, set up a Substack, just share the video, share this video as your Substack, put a transcript on, or put a little note at the top of it, like, hey, everybody, this is what we talked about this week. Thanks for joining me. Boom. You've got a newsletter.
Or like you said, just write down what you're going to be doing on the podcast coming up.
Yep. And then if you're a show that's like motivated by it, you can create what the two different things are, what a blog is, what a newsletter are, commingle with them. But if you're not a writer, at least you got to have that newsletter. And there's a lot of reasons you got to have that newsletter. There's a lot of reasons, which I've talked about on so many other shows I'm not going to go into here, but that's why there's a requirement for it. And it's only once a month. I'm not saying you got to do one every week. Every month, do one. Southgate Media Group had one. We had one for a long time, and we had some subscribers, but I couldn't get the podcasters involved in it, which made it difficult. Now, we work together. If Lilith has a newsletter for her show, Dog Lady, and she says to me, she's like, hey, I got this newsletter. Can you come on and answer 3 questions for my newsletter? Yeah, absolutely. Can I do a newsletter takeover of yours to make your audience aware of me? Yeah, absolutely. Let's work that out. We'll do takeovers. We'll share ideas. We'll promote each other. That's how it works. And I have been building that infrastructure other places, and it's working. It's making audiences grow. People like it.
We, I don't know what the plan is on that end, but if there's someone who just wants to blog, would you let someone come on who just wants to blog?
Absolutely.
And again, you never know. I mean, that talent pool, I mean, who'd you say? Was it Kristen who did it before? I mean, Charlie, that's how you discovered Charlie.
Yeah. Charlie was writing on Facebook
blogging first, then you said,
and then I said, well, he was writing on Facebook, and he'd write these long-winded Charlie posts about how Jack and I were getting everything wrong.
That's right.
And then he'd write about how he was such a huge fan. This is my favorite show. Here's everything you've done wrong. Okay.
Charlie.
So that's right. And then I got him on the phone and I said, hey, do you want to write a blog for Enough Said? And he was like, whoa. Yeah. And he started doing a blog. And after 2 posts, I think, I said, why don't you make a show out of this? Like, keep blogging, but then talk about what you wrote in your blog. Because he was writing all this super connectivity stuff. And very quickly he stopped writing and just podcasted, and the rest is history. He ended up taking over Enough Said for a while. So, yeah.
Another of Rob's deranged proteges.
Oh, man. So for bloggers, yeah, absolutely. We just have to talk about what it looks like and what the benefit of being part of a network is. Lilith, do you remember the girls, the 4 bloggers in California that they basically formed their own little network? And when one would have something that would start to catch fire, the other 3 would promote the hell of it on their social media. Do you remember those girls?
No, I don't think I do.
They were called, I always want to say it's Sugar Gamers, but it's not Sugar Gamers. It was a name kind of like that. Sugar Squad or something. And it was 4 girls that wrote like geek blogs. And they were working that end of it. So they were, like guest blogging where they could, and they were putting their stuff out there. And if one of their blogs started to become, back then they didn't call it viral, but we'll call it viral. The other 3 would jump in and they would push it out through their channels as well. Like, hey, you got to read this great article by so-and-so. But they would treat it as if it was their own, not like saying it was their own, but they would handle it with care like you would your own content.
Hmm.
So rather than saying, I'm going to put it out one time and see what the universe does, they would push it out there because they understand it's got to get in front of eyeballs. But then the other girls would do the same thing. So if one is going viral, they'd go, bam, they'd all do this. And what did it do? It got all 4 of them. So they had huge followings because they gave to the other people in the group every time they saw that little bit of light without saying, oh, by the way, read my one. No, you're already reading my thing or you're already interested. I'm growing their audience selflessly. While at the same time, by growing theirs selflessly, I'm being very selfish at growing mine.
I thought it was an Instagram post, but now that I think about it, yeah, the blog that started it, that created the Instagram post, yeah. And it was from Overstock, like, yeah.
For the Stanley Cup, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Marketing trends, man. Sometimes they're very unpredictable.
Yeah, and that's just it too. We're not going to get this all right. It's marketing. I mean, come on. This is what I teach my students all day long. All the time. I'm like, hey, I don't grade based on whether they're successful in the simulations. I grade on whether they're trying things. Because in the real world, you could do this great marketing campaign for Capes and Lunatics. You could do it today, right? You put together this great social media thing, and bam, it works. The next month, you try the same thing, and it fails. That's how marketing is. And sometimes it can go on for a long time. You know, the M&M guys, that marketing idea worked. And it worked, and it worked, and it worked. But
bring back the 10 M&M.
When they
Sorry.
tried their thing where they were going to change them or whatever, that whole jokey thing they did,
Yeah.
that didn't work. It happens. Keep trying. You know, there's a lot of controversy whether the new Coke thing was a Coke 2 and new Coke, whether that was an actual, we're going to take our original formula and get rid of it and go with this new thing, or was it, we're going to try something to get all the press in the world and bring back classic Coke.
Exactly.
And guess what? Now there's a lot of controversy. I've read a lot of things about it, not I'm sitting around reading about it now, but one of my professors who was the head of the American Marketing Association was friends with the guy who did that. And according to him, that was absolutely the plan from the beginning. We're going to do this. He got Coke to buy into, we're going to do this, and we're going to make the brand look really bad for about 3 months. That we made a mistake, but it's going to get you press like crazy. Coke got nervous about it, did fire the guy, brought back, but followed his thing, brought back classic Coke, and it worked. It worked in a big way. They were still selling Coke 2, which Coke 2 is just their new formula with a 2 on top of it. After that, for a long time. Then they realized, you know what, people don't like it. And they started playing with Diet Coke, which worked. And then they said, hey, people realize Diet Coke tastes like ass. So now they've gone to Coke Zero, which tastes good. I don't know how anyone drinks Diet Coke. I tried. It's terrible.
Yeah, diet drink of any kind.
Oh, terrible. Terrible.
Just drink water and lemon.
Water, lemon, and coffee.
No, jeez.
And if you have to get a soda, get yourself a Green River or a root beer. Be a big boy.
Oh.
Seagram's ginger ale.
Yeah.
Sorry, Canada Dry. Not in my backyard.
Yeah, no. Seagram's has great ginger ale. So there you go. Did we answer all questions?
I think so.
I think so, yeah.
All right. I am going to be back with you guys at the beginning of June.
Okay.
Like first week. And I'm going to bring a guest with me.
Oh.
So let me tell you. I believe I'm not sure who
Is
it's going to be.
that a Michigan friend?
Verner's, yes. So here's the deal. Molly and I and Chris Mao, we were all, and Alil is in it too. It's almost a Live at the Blue Box movie. We're in a movie.
Oh.
And it's called For Profit, and it's very much like kind of a modern take on like Oh God. Okay. I don't know if you remember the movie Oh God. Oh God was a huge movie. John Denver and George Burns. If you haven't seen the original Oh God, it's really good. After that, they're not good.
Like I say, are you George Burns?
Yeah. But we're all in it. And they finally got a studio behind it that is releasing it theatrically. And it's going to be
Is it
released
a wide release or a limited release?
limited release, unless it does super well. It is going to be like June 24th or something. There is a red carpet premiere going to be right here on like June 12th. We don't have the days locked in, but they hired me to be like a team captain to market here in the Chicagoland area, because they were like, hey, you know this market and you know people. Can you help? Yeah, of course. It's weird, though, because I've marketed it as Molly and I are the stars. I don't know.
Well, I get half of that, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, one of us is, right?
Don't lie. This is Jingle All the Way too. Come on, don't lie to us.
It might be. There's some ball play. So anyway, I'm going to bring, I was trying to get Mark, who's the director. He was going to come on. He was like, oh my God, I get to come on and ask you questions. But I wanted to bring them on so we could talk about the premiere, and so that you could meet some cool people and see, oh, wow, this is a really cool project. So I'm going to bring a guest with me. I'm just not sure. There's one I would really like to get, one of the stars of the film who I've actually become friends with. I'm not going to name drop. But
what?
Nope.
But
You're
Rob Southgate. You have to.
No, but it's been pretty. It's. We have a. We hung out on the set, and since
You're
then
on an NDA. You can't say you.
we write on. We write together on Facebook. He actually almost did a podcast for us.
Oh,
and that was right when we closed everything down. But he was like, I have this idea. And it was a good idea. Yeah. So
yes,
I'm going to reach out to
next
him.
episode's the red carpet. Yes.
Yeah, let's do it. So yeah, lots of big things. Big things
Can't
are brewing.
wait.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And the door is open to you guys, whatever that looks like. I had ideas on how you could do Capes and Lunatics differently that could actually work within the network that would help you guys. But I would never put pressure.
Well, like I told I told you, if you need any help editing or something, just reach out.
If we get up to 500 shows, I'm going to be sending you 498 of them. So get ready, Phil.
Okay.
All right, you guys. Any other questions for me? I mean, you've got me.
Okay, here's an important one. I was gonna say always promote, but if someone wants to reach out to you about being part of SMG, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Well, let's share the screen.
Oh, okay.
Look at this. He comes prepared, just not slick.
It only took 11 years, kid.
It only took 11 years. There we go.
Oh.
Email me at rob@smgpods.com.
Nice.
Yeah.
Trying to
also,
scope out all the other little tabs on the side there.
As long as, yeah, I know. Well, I don't know. Yeah, hide sidebar. I don't know. I'm not going to do it.
Oh.
But here on Pour Over, for the first time in years, it got
there you go.
Yep, because Pour Over is part of that. And Pour Over is a different animal, and it shows you we are trying something different. The other thing is Thursday night, I'm doing a Pour Over, 7 o'clock Central Time.
Oh, yeah, you did mention that. You did do the second one, right? How did that go?
Great. Went great. So, yeah, we're doing that. I'm going to say stop sharing. So follow me on Facebook, Rob Southgate. Go to Southgate Media Group on Facebook. New stuff is going to start populating. And really, any of the old Southgate Media Group social media is all going to be there, whether it's SMG Pods or Southgate Media Group. But you'll be able to find all the new stuff as it's starting to resurface there. And we will have a newsletter, so sign up for the newsletter if you go to southgatemediagroup.com. And what else was I going to say about all that? So Thursday night, we are doing a Pour Over happy hour. I believe it's at 7. It's either at 7 or 8. I can't remember. So if you go to the event, you'll see what time it starts. And then Saturday, I'll be back with the regular Pour Over. It's not going to be all about this, though. We did that already. I'm not sure what we're going to talk about yet, but it's become quite a lively community. We might even do we do a thing where as like a hive mind, we answer marketing questions. So if you have a marketing question, pare it down, prune it, make it a good question. You can ask it in there, and then we go around the horn, and everybody gets to kind of answer and give insight. I love it, man. Every time we've done it, it's been great. Like I said, genius is next to you. I don't care who it is. You'll get these ideas and be like, wait a minute, that's an incredible idea. Plus, I have some marketers that show up in there that are like the one guy spoke at Social Media Marketing World more than once, and he comes to and watches once in a while, and he's like, I love this show. And he was on the one day we did Catalyst, which is this thing. So we might do that Thursday night. We might do it Saturday. But he had great insights. Awesome. So there you go. Please come to
And
Pour
these
Over
are
Happy
pushing
Hour.
to your YouTube channel, right? To Southgate
Yes.
Media Group. Okay.
Well, actually, Pour Over right now is pushing there. It's actually going to start pushing to the New Media Lab YouTube channel.
Okay.
And then I'll share promos for it over at the Southgate Media Group one, because that's a behemoth. So I'm trying to figure out, how do I make it so that it's not like you got to weed through 800 shows, and having separate channels for certain things might be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, and the New Media Lab YouTube channel is in, hold on, I actually have it right here. Let's share. Look at how slick I'm not. Boom.
Yeah, sharing on StreamYard is it's a little clunky sometimes.
It's a little clunky.
Still better than Zoom, though. Still better than Zoom.
Yep. So at that YouTube channel, I used to put like trainings on how to use Audacity, things like that. Then I started putting the episodes of New Media Lab up on there. New Media Lab is about to roar back into existence, and that channel will have content, specifically this type of content, like Pour Over and New Media Lab stuff. Because the stuff that I'm actively doing myself is going to be stuff like New Media Lab. I am not going to be doing shows
Once Upon a
about
Time
TV shows.
recaps.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing recaps anymore. Although the Nuff Said thing that we've been working on is going to be a Southgate Media Group joint. It is going to bring Nuff Said back in an interesting way. So, Yep. So there you go.
When the world needed you most, you disappeared.
That's exactly what happened. And then I came back, and it was very disappointing.
Well,
yeah.
Yes. Podcast. Yes. So we will. So there you go. And Rachel, I know that you've been asking questions, so reach out to me. Let's have a conversation. I can tell you all the things, because I loved Five-ish Fangirls. I would love to see what we can do, help grow that thing. Rachel does great stuff with charity stuff too. So follow Five-ish Fangirls and follow their charity, help them out. And who knows, she might be able to add an element to SMG 2.0 where we can give back, which I would freaking love.
She said done and done.
Done and done. All right, you guys, thank you for having me on. This was fun. Thank you for having me on my show. But this lives here. This lives here. So no matter what's happening with SMG, I am part of the Capes and Lunatics network with Third Best Southgate. I love being here. And yeah, the nice thing is now I'm going to be promoting this actively in a different way. So that will be that'll be good too. What is at Third Best? Do I have a Twitter?
Yes.
Send me the password for that. I don't know if I've ever used
Okay.
it.
Okay.
Yeah, if I have any social media for this, let me know. I know there's the Facebook page, which I post things occasionally. I'm going to actually have a little bit of a strategy for each one of these. So
just the Facebook and the Twitter. So that's
send me the Twitter thing.
Okay.
Or should I say X?
No, we dead name here specifically for that.
Excellent. Excellent. Thanks for listening to the Flash Arrow Power Hour. Speaking of dead naming.
Oh God, he's
they're like, we didn't even hear about the terrible tragic wig.
I'm Phil Parrish in Gotham, and this is my co-host Zach. And
no, I'm having flashbacks. Come on, Phil.
And Lilith. Lilith, you got your regular name. All right. Thank you,
All
guys.
right. Well, if you're done here, let's
Play them off, boys.
jump the hook. Full on faith.
Oh, wait. Four Horsemen. Go to Four Horsemen Publications. We're having a huge 99-cent sale on our stuff. Yes, you can get great stuff. And spoiler, we're working on being part of Stuff Your Kindle Day. And we've got some other really fun things.
It's Stuff Your Kindle Day again already? Is it like once a quarter now?
No, it's once a year. The official one is once a year.
Okay.
There's lots of things that we're doing over there that are just awesome. We just completed the new catalog. So check out Four Horsemen Publications. And if you see a typo, you know it's me. And buy books from us. Tell your friends. Give us gifts. We've got such great stuff. I'm in Love with Mothman. Who doesn't want to read that?
Yeah, dummies. Start reading.
That's right.